So my university is hosting a game jam. It's basically a game making competition, one with a really tight deadline because we have just one weekend to make an entire game. It's basically a race to see who can destroy their mental and physical health the most. But if you know me, I'm kind of a professional at sacrificing my mental and physical health for silly little projects. So it's game jam. Here's how a game jam works. On the first day, the theme of the jam is revealed. Any games made during the jam have to align with this surprise theme. It could be anything. Some of the previous jams I've taken part in have had themes like looping, global warming, and fighting the pandemic. Wow, that one is an original title. Having a surprise theme like this stops people from showing up with a game they've been working on for like 6 months and pretending like they made it over a weekend. Yeah, this is just a little game I've been working on. It only took me 2 days. On the last day of the jam, you'll have to upload your finished game. Then everyone can try it out. Usually, you'll be going around reviewing other people's games or voting for your favorites. But some jams will also have a panel of judges that chooses the winners instead. Some of the world's most beloved games actually started out as game jam games. Before the somber world of Hollow Knight, there was the yummy world of Hungry Knight. Before Super Hot, there was, well, Super Hot, but made over the course of a week instead of like 2 years. And even the recent, super trendy co-op climbing game Peak was made in a game jam. Such iconic games can often come out of game jams because the format encourages you to be both practical and innovative. If you're not practical, then you're not gonna finish on time. And if you're not fresh nor flashy, no one's gonna vote for your game at the end. So let's get to my uni's game jam. And this game jam's theme is mask, along with some not at all horrifying imagery. Ugh. On the first day of my uni's game jam, they also give you some time to mingle with other people and maybe find a group of people to team up with. Personally, I think a team size of about 3 to 4 people is usually a sweet spot for game jams. With more people, you need to spend a bunch of time managing everyone's work and making sure it all comes together before the deadline. And with less people, you might be risking stretching yourself a bit too thin and also barely meeting your deadline. So for the game jam, I'm gonna need some friends. So I hit up my homie Soup Dweller. They're this cracked digital artist. And well, that's the entire team. Do as I say, not as I do or something. Because now we're a team of 2 and Loki, that's kinda understaffed. But it's okay, because you can handle being understaffed if you manage your scope. Thinking big is cool, but if you have a 2-day deadline, thinking big is for idiots. Instead, we must think small, but think very, very much. And we really gotta do that thinking, because with a theme like mask, there's many different ways to take the game. The first idea that comes to mind is to make a game where the masks you wear are different power-ups. But in a game jam, you kinda never go for the first idea. Like, ever. Mostly because if it came to your mind that easily, it's probably in the minds of a lot of other people too. So masks as power-ups also doesn't really capture the essence of what a mask is. Like, yeah, a mask that makes you stronger is a mask, but it's just the aesthetic of a mask. If this mask were a Mario mushroom, it would functionally be the same. So we need to go deeper. Fundamentally, what are masks about? Those who knows will tell you that masks hide things. They're used to deceive others and conceal your identity. So what about a game where you hide your identity from other people? We considered playing around with some other mask ideas, like a game where you mask things in a photo editing kind of style, and we also made a bunch of hella relevant references to that one Dream song. The point of the mask. But yeah, we landed on a game where one player has to fit in a crowd of people, while the other player attempts to figure out who they actually are. Oh, also, the game takes place during a masquerade, because we gotta be at least a little bit on the nose with it, you know? Soup Dweller got drawing up some little characters, and I began to program the basic gameplay loop. By the end of day 1, aka Friday, we had this functional little prototype where a bunch of little people are moving around and around. One player can waddle amongst them using either a keyboard or a controller, and the other player has the mouse to scope them out, and maybe they can click on them to reveal if it was the real player or not. Very cool. So right now there's one problem. The one squashing people can win, but how does the player trying to hide win? Well, they gotta steal ducks. My homie Soup Dweller knows I'm a huge fan of ducks, and so drew up these golden ducks for the game. If the thief hiding amongst the crowd manages to steal 3 of these golden ducks, then they win. And if they're caught by security, then they are fairly and ethically prosecuted for their crimes. As you can see, we take ducks very, very seriously here. Speaking of ducks, Purrductivity. What? You don't know what Purrductivity is? What? You don't know what Purrductivity is? It's just this little game I'm working on, where you've got cats that live on your desktop and you build little houses for them while you do other stuff. It's a bit of a productivity game, and you gotta go wishlist it right now on Steam. If you don't wishlist it, this guy right here, he's gonna frickin' die. I don't think you want that on your soul, do ya? So go wishlist before it's too late. This is your fault, but it's better late than never. So go wishlist the game right frickin' now. Anyways, there's a huge issue with the Game Jam game right now. Security can kind of just do this. In fact, they have no reason not to spam click on everyone, because if they just RNG it long enough, they'll just win. But don't worry, because you can fix all your broken game design with one simple trick, making good strats way more risky, with some risk versus reward design sprinkled all over our game. If the player starts shooting civilians, the other civilians will kinda notice. And yeah, that's about right. Since they're moving way faster and way more chaotically, the player hiding amongst them can now hit the run button and just quickly collect all the ducks before the guy with the gun has any time to do anything. The security guy can also intentionally squish a civilian to see if the other real player is the only one who doesn't start panicking. And damn, that's like 800 lines of code I just wrote, and it's already midnight, so it's time for me to get some good sleep. And by good sleep, I mean adding 3 more characters to the game that Soup Dweller epically drew for us. Adding this little menu for tracking points, rewriting the entire NPC AI, and put shadows under all the people. Wow, those shadows alone really improve the look of this game and give it like way more depth. What up, chat? It's like 4 a.m. 4 a.m. That's Angle Go Burr. It's 4 a.m. I just got back from game jamming last night. I slept 2 hours and 55 minutes according to my little watch here. So we got a lot of eep. I'm gonna wake up in like 4 hours and a half tonight. Maybe 5. Maybe we'll push it to 5. We're gonna go back and lock in. It's gonna be banger game jam. Hey chat, slight mess up. Turns out I slept through my alarms. Not something I usually do. Now we're like speedrunning it, so it's banger. It's like noon. Even though the EP kinda got the best of me, the thinking small and managing scope we did earlier paid off, because the game we have is already fully functional, which means whatever's left of the final day can be dedicated to polish and adding juice. Wow, look at these nice environmental details. Whoa, look at these nice curtain animations. Whoa, is that some screen shake and sound effects? Ooh, wow, the music now gets more intense if people start panicking. And there's these sick shadows closing in on the player if they win. Ooh, and the thief player drops all the ducks they were collecting if they're caught. A lot of these details sound super trivial, but it's these small details that really make the difference between something that's aight and something that's slightly better than aight. So yeah. Just adding something like the little point trackers implying that the game is a first to 3 points dramatically increased how much people got invested in the game. Without it, people we had try out the game while it was being made just kind of did 1 round and felt like they got the gist of it. But when we encouraged them to play more than 1 round, they got really invested. It was kind of cool. They started countering and countering and countering. Maybe the thief would now wait for a civilian to walk right past one of the ducks before nabbing it to frame them. Maybe the security would put their cursor on one of the ducks, implying they're watching it, but they're actually looking at a completely different duck. And maybe the security would just pick a random person and happen to kill the thief on the first try. I kid you not, this happened like twice during testing.
That's just evil. That, Paul, there's a major flaw with your game.
There's like 50 people on screen at any given time and get 2 immediate pure RNG snipes. I don't know. But yeah, once we had all this stuff added, we had less than an hour to the deadline, so it was time to upload the game, along with some screenshots, a little description, and we gotta name it to Ballroom Break-In, because like it's like a ballroom, and you're like break in or something. Smile. For those who want to do a game jam, please try to upload the game at least a bit early, especially for big jams. There's always some issues with the websites, usually because hundreds of people are trying to upload their games to the website like within the last few minutes before the deadline, which is rough. But yeah, boom, game is complete. We set up this little play area for people to try out our game, and in the meantime, we went around trying other people's games. And people made some neat games. Some people made cute little puzzle games. Other people made some cool PvP games. We even got some sci-fi scuba diving games, a little painting game, and this pretty cool game where 2 players are in the same map, but they can see different obstacles, and they have to communicate to each other to get past the obstacles that they can't see. After that, everyone got to vote on their favorite game from the jam. And how did Ballroom Break-In do? Did all our effort and grinding pay off? Those of you who got this title for the video already know the spoiler, because we did actually get the most votes. For those of you who didn't know, YouTube lets you post multiple video titles and see which one did better. So some of you are seeing this title, some of you are seeing this title, some of you are seeing this title, and maybe more titles, I don't know. But yeah, danke for the votes, fellow game jammers. And danke to my teammate Soup Dweller. The game jam ended up being a blast and a highlight of current year 2026. And I'd highly recommend more people just say screw it and try out some game jams. You don't have to already be good at making games to take part in one of these. In fact, the point isn't really to win, it's more to push yourself, meet new people, and be in an environment that low-key forces you to learn new skills on the fly. Now that the game jam was over, I headed home to relax. Chat, just get back from game jam. Me and my teammate won. Very epic, very cool. And now after 2 days of game jamming, what do? We immediately open up Unity again to fix some bugs that were still there that annoyed me. We fixed music bugs, and now I'm fixing a layering issue where the people were sometimes walking over things they shouldn't. It's bug fixing, even though I don't have to. Woo. For those of you interested, I've put Ballroom Break-In on my itch page. It's completely free to download, link in the description, so go try it out with a roommate or something if you want to have wholesome experiences like this.
I don't know who I am yet!
Wow, that was a great video, but I have to get back to working on Purrductivity. What? You haven't heard of Purrductivity? It's just this little cat game I'm working on, where cats live on your screen while you lock in and you build epic houses for them. It's the most relevant game of all time, so you should go wishlist it on Steam so we can get to 10,000 wishlists and be even more relevant. If you don't do it, by the way, this'll be you.